Squeezing a pillow with blood-soaked feet, a 3-year-old little girl was wandering around alone in a parking lot in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on June 9, 2016. A man driving by noticed the little girl and rushed over to her aid. He asked where was her mommy. She pointed and took the man over to her mom's car. The man looked inside, but he didn't find her mommy. Instead, he found pools of blood. He immediately dialed 911.
How old are you, sweetheart? She's 3 years old. She's in the parking lot standing here by herself with a pillow.
Who is this little girl? And where is her mommy? And what happened to her? 40-year-old Lyntell Washington was an instructional specialist at Brookstown Middle Magnet School located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She was very successful in her career and even named Teacher of the Year. She was also a single mom of a 3-year-old little girl. Sometime during her tenure as a specialist at the middle school, the professional relationship she once had with the assistant principal, 39-year-old Robert Marks, turned romantic. As their relationship blossomed, Lentel became pregnant. Robert wasn't too thrilled about the news. He did not want another child because he already had 2 with his current wife. That's right, Robert was married, and at the time that he and Lentel became intimate, he was still with his wife for 4.5 years, with whom he shared 2 children with. Lentel was aware that Robert was married, but before you go pointing a judgy finger at this single woman dating a married man, let me explain. Robert convinced Lentel that his marriage was over. She was under the impression that he was in the process of getting a divorce. It's unclear whether Robert was upfront with the fact that he and his wife were still living under the same roof, or if Lentel ended up finding out. Nevertheless, she was aware that he was married and still living with his wife. It's possible that Robert made her believe that he was still in the marital home for financial reasons or because he didn't want to leave his kids. For those of us that unknowingly or knowingly got into a relationship with a taken man, you'll know that it's easy to fall for the lies, especially if you didn't know about the other woman until after you were already emotionally involved. Around the 7th month of Lentell's pregnancy, she began to feel uneasy, not just because her due date was approaching, but due to some unresolved issues with her soon-to-be baby's father, Robert. She confided in one of her friends, who was also her coworker, that she found out Robert was not getting a divorce. In fact, she found out that he was recently on a cruise with his wife. She told her friend she was going to tell his wife about their relationship and their unborn child. A week later, on June 9, 2016, Lentel disappeared. The child that was abandoned in the parking lot was Lentell's 3-year-old daughter. Once the authorities got the little girl to safety in the care of her family, they vigorously began to search for her mom. Police feared that they were looking for a murdered person, not a missing person, because of all the blood found in her car. Their investigation led them to finding out that Lentel was having an affair with a married man. Police interviewed Robert, and he told them that he briefly met up with Lentel and her young daughter at a Walmart on Wednesday night, which was the night before her daughter was found abandoned. He claimed to have no knowledge about Lentel's whereabouts. Police also interviewed Lentell's 3-year-old daughter, who informed them that she was with her mommy and Mr. Robbie in the car when she heard a loud bang. She also said that her mommy was asleep at the lake. The police pulled the cell phone records for both Lentel and Robert. They confirmed that the 2 were together on the same night, but not at the same time that Robert stated. A dive team was summoned to search bodies of water in the locations that Robert's phone pinged. However, they did not find Lentel. Police were not able to arrest Robert in relation to Lentell's disappearance, but they were able to arrest him for kidnapping and desertion of a child. A week later, a farmer reported a possible dead body in a sugarcane field off of Highway 77 in Rosedale. That decomposing body was the skeletal remains of Lentel and her unborn child. Robert was rearrested and charged with a slew of charges, including second-degree murder and feticide. Authorities had a mountain of evidence against him. They had her 3-year-old's testimony, the text message that Lentel sent to him about telling his wife, the cell phone data which was near where Lentel was found, and they even found out that Robert was having a second affair. The woman actually came forward when she found out about Robert's arrest. She said that Robert called her that night and had her come pick him up not too far from the parking lot that Lentel's daughter was found. Cell phone records confirmed that call. Police were also able to confirm that the other mistress had nothing to do with Lentel's demise. With all of that damning evidence, guess who was sticking beside her man? His wife and mother of his 2 children. She and her husband's attorney did an interview with Nancy Grace.
He's a loving husband, a loving wife. I just don't see how he could do it.
Kayla Marks standing by her husband, Robert Marks, accused of killing his pregnant girlfriend and dumping her body in this Iberville Parish field. Kayla was grilled by Nancy Grace.
A lot to be slapped with, the fact that your husband is charged, A, for having an affair, and B, for a murder.
Baton Rouge police say Kayla's husband, Robert, shot Lyntell Washington in the head to conceal their love affair.
Did you have any idea that they were having an affair?
I did not, not one clue.
Police are still looking into the timeline, trying to figure out when Robert Marks left his home. According to police, cell phone records put Marks near Rama and Rosedale, then back to Baton Rouge 15 minutes later, to these apartments. And hours later, neighbors wonder upon Washington's daughter in a blood-soaked car. Marks' wife tells a much different story of that night.
Where was your husband?
He left to go watch the basketball game with a friend.
What friend was that? Did you know the friend?
I did not.
About a week later, sugarcane farmers found Washington's body in this field, badly decomposed from the South Louisiana heat and humidity.
I guess Robert's plea of innocence and the undying support of his wife was not convincing enough, because in December 2021, after 4 days of testimony, a jury of his peers deliberated for just 35 minutes. They found him guilty of second-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, first-degree feticide, aggravated kidnapping of a child, obstruction of justice, carjacking, and 4 counts of using a firearm while in the commission of a violent act. His wife filed for divorce shortly thereafter. On February 10, 2022, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. I'm sending my sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Lyntell Washington. I hope that the horrible memories of that night will continue to fade from her sweet little daughter's memory. May she grow up to be happy, healthy, and healed. As always, thank you so much for stopping by. Please like, share, and subscribe. And then drop down in the comments section and tell us if you think that the wife was right or wrong for sticking by her man. Until next time, be aware, be safe out there. Ciao.